Miss Akka, we are live. The stage is yours.
Okay, thank you so much. Thank you. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening to everyone, and welcome to today's session. Welcome to our speakers, to Women Ascension Skill Development Panel Talk today. My name is Akka Melanie Atu. I'm the project coordinator for Voices for Women Cameroon. I'm a committee worker and a Women Ascension Skills Development Fellow. I'll be your first moderator for today because we are two of us today that will be moderating this panel session. Before we begin, please keep your mic muted. If you have any questions, drop them in the chat or raise your hand during question and answer session. About Women Ascension. Women Ascension is a global initiative empowering women to transform communities and industries. Women Ascension is present in over 134 countries. It provides a platform for women to lead, for women to learn, and to lift others. The department organizing today's session is Women Ascension Skill Development Batch 2 2025, which is headed by Madam Adifa. This program is to equip women with entrepreneurial skills to succeed in business and leadership. Now let's introduce our speakers for today. Our first speaker for today panel talk is Madam Muma Janet Nayong from Yaoundé, Cameroon. She is a founder of Mending Minds, an organization which focuses on mental health and sustainable livelihood. She is a creative entrepreneur who, together with her team, makes bags, cloths, caps, and amongst all, while using waste fabric, waste plastic, and traps to produce pillows, vest chairs, and other items. She is passionate about driving change and thinking out of the box, hence creating realistic and practical solutions through waste transformation. Miss Janet will be talking with us today on creative entrepreneurship as a pathway to women's economic empowerment. Miss Janet, please, the floor is all yours at the moment. Thank you.
Thank you very much, moderator. I don't know if you all can hear me. My network is not very stable, so I want to be sure everybody can hear me.
We can hear you. We can hear you.
Thank you for the opportunity. I don't need to introduce myself again because you already did. So I'll just delve into the crux of the matter. The topic I'm going to be presenting is creative entrepreneurship as a pathway to women's economic empowerment. First of all, what is creative entrepreneurship? I'm going to define it in simple terms. Creative entrepreneurship is turning of passions and ideas into profitable business ventures creatively. For example, waste transformation, upcycling, fabric collage, digital branding, and things like that. They all fall under creative entrepreneurship. So it is rooted in innovation, design, and cultural expression. Creative industries contribute between 0.7 to 7.3% of gross domestic product globally. And creative industries also employ up to 12.5% of the global workforce. Please, let's go to the background. Despite the fact that creative industries have a lot to do with GDP and all of that, women remain underrepresented in creative industries. They face so many barriers, so many things that stop them from getting engaged or from scaling their businesses. We'll look at all these barriers in the course of the work. Creative entrepreneurship is capable of empowering women economically, and hence it plays a great role in poverty reduction, gender equality, and responsible and eco-friendly production. Next slide, please. We'll look at the problem statement. I'm fast because I know I have just 10 minutes to present. So, women's economic empowerment remains constrained by limited access to finance, markets, technology, and sometimes they are limited by cultural norms. We'll come to that. For these reasons, so many women are living below their potentials because they are not able to do the things that they really want to do. They are limited by a lot. Let's go to the next slide, objectives of this study. Now, we have so many objectives. The first one is to define creative entrepreneurship, which I already did at the start, to highlight the barriers faced by women in the creative industry, to demonstrate how creative enterprises provide sustainable livelihoods, to showcase some studies of women in creative businesses and how they are impacting the world, also to inspire stakeholders to invest in women's creativity. Next slide, please. This study is expected to increase awareness of creative entrepreneurship as a viable pathway to women's economic empowerment, propose practical strategies for scaling women-led entrepreneurial ventures, to create alignment between grassroots initiatives and the global SDGs, to inspire policymakers, investors, and communities, non-governmental organizations, and what have you, to support women's creative ventures. Now, of what relevance is creative entrepreneurship? Next slide, please. Creative entrepreneurship builds on undervalued skills like waste transformation, be it food waste, plastic waste, non-biodegradable or biodegradable waste. It builds on those undervalued skills, bringing value out of things that are invaluable. It helps in job creation for both men and women. It keeps people engaged and occupied, hence reducing the stress, depression, and mental health issues that come with poverty and unemployment. It reduces poverty. Now, please, let's go to the next slide. In the next slide, we are looking at the particular SDGs that this study tackles. So the SDGs that this study tackles are SDG 1, SDG 5, SDG 8, SDG 9, SDG 10, and SDG 12. I'll just briefly highlight how it impacts each of these SDGs. For SDG 1, no poverty. By offering sustainable livelihoods, creative entrepreneurship is capable of making women to be able to earn income of their own, hence reducing poverty in households. SDG 5, gender equality. By offering equal opportunities to both women and men, it helps to bridge the gender gap. SDG 8, decent work and economic growth. Through the employment opportunities that come with creative entrepreneurial ventures, self-employment is guaranteed, and women are going to be capable of not just employing themselves, but employing others as employees to serve under them. Now we have SDG 9 2, industry, innovation, and infrastructure. Lots of innovative ideas can lead to infrastructural development because companies, if women start doing these creative ventures, they can create companies, and these companies will lead to what? Creation of roads, creation of buildings, beautiful buildings, and hence infrastructural development. It also This study also tackles SDG 10, which is reduced inequalities by bridging the income gap between the rich and the poor, and also between men and women. It tackles SDG 12, which is responsible consumption and production, because creative entrepreneurship mostly focuses on creating something out of nothing or out of what people generally consider as waste. It helps to recycle waste and hence ensuring responsible consumption and production, making sure that nothing goes to waste. Next slide, please. We are going to look at creative entrepreneurship in the real world. So there are three cases here. I'm just going to talk briefly about them. The first case study I'll talk about is Mending Minds, which is actually the organization I founded, and that's where I work. It's in Cameroon, headquarters in Boya, but we are presently based in Yaoundé. And this Mending Minds focuses on tackling mental health issues through creative entrepreneurship, because it has been discovered that a lot of people that are suffering from depression, anxiety, and more other mood disorders have these mental health issues because they cannot meet up with their day-to-day expenses. So we creatively try to tackle these problems by keeping them engaged. They say an idle mind is the devil's workshop. We keep them engaged in activities that can bring them income. We transform plastic waste to collage, to chairs. We transform tires to chairs. We also transform fabric waste to photo collage, pillows, handbags, jewelry, and what have you. And then there is also the example of Lulu Kitolo Studios in Kenya, which blends African heritage with contemporary designs to produce wall art, murals, stationery. It brands African businesses. All of this blending African heritage, and sometimes they use waste products too for their creations. There is also chalkboard board education, which is in Cote d'Ivoire and Ghana, which offers offline mobile learning for entrepreneurs and creatives in low connectivity areas. This helps people who don't have access to regular access to internet to be able to access educational systems that help them build themselves and build businesses for themselves. Now let's go to the next slide. Women's economic empowerment barriers. Women face a lot of barriers when it comes to economic empowerment. I'll look at them quickly. We'll look at them. The first one is limited access to finance. When it comes to getting loans, credit, and investments, women are generally being discriminated against. It's just the norm in most parts of the world. And then there are also cultural norms. For instance, where I come from, there are still villages in Cameroon where women are restricted from owning land. And if you are restricted from owning land, it becomes very difficult to use that land as collateral to be able to get a loan to start a business. And it becomes difficult to even have land that you can use to maybe grow crops and transform them for entrepreneurial ventures. There are also blockages, barriers like lack of education and skills. A lot of people in this part of the world, maybe some African countries, don't really pay much attention on the education of the girl child. In some places, not all places. So many women are limited in education and skills. Another thing is some of them, once they start giving birth, they drop out of school, they no longer go to school. So they lack the skills and education needed to propel them to higher heights. And then there is also weak market linkages. There are women who really struggle in the entrepreneurial journey, but they struggle to access larger markets. They are not able, maybe due to the other barriers that I've mentioned before. It impacts them, and so they cannot create the value. They cannot reach the market which they expect to reach. And then there is also the digital divide. Limited access to technology and internet hinders scaling and visibility. This doesn't just affect women, it affects everybody who lives in a place where technology and internet is not such a thing. So they don't have access to all those things. And then there are also policy and legal barriers, inadequate legal protection, property rights, and supportive policies that restrict the growth of women. So there are also things like they don't have enough time due to childbirth. They need to devote time to take care of their children, their families. Because of that, they don't have enough time to really focus on this entrepreneurial journey. And so they are not able to make much. Next slide, please. So most of these slides have pictures. Those pictures just express what I'm trying to explain. If you look at this slide, you see a picture of a woman who is struggling to run, but she's been held back by those barriers that I just mentioned. So that's just a picture representation of what women go through. So what are the pathways for impact? The first one mentioned here is income generation. Women-led creative enterprises provide direct earnings, hence reducing poverty and improving household stability. A lot of women, whatever money they make from their businesses, they bring it back into their households and use it to take care of their households. And then there is also community development. Empowered women reinvest their money into their families, into their communities, maybe local churches, council halls, local halls, village meetings, and things like that. They reinvest that money to be able to bring growth in their communities. There is also cultural preservation, creative businesses such as this fabric transformation that Mending Minds does. It preserves the culture because everything that is done as a work of art, and it reflects the African context, especially the Cameroonian context, and hence preserving the culture. There's also the aspect of sustainability, transformation. Creative entrepreneurship helps a lot with sustainability because waste is being used most often as raw materials, and it is sustainable because you never run short of waste. So it's a sustainable business venture. It's a sustainable pathway for women. And then there is also social inclusion as one of the pathways for impact. Women who get engaged in these things are included socially. It helps them to create networks and collaborations, and it boosts their morale and their self-esteem. All right, next slide. We are already on the next slide. We'll quickly go to the pathways for scaling women-led creative enterprises. The first one, we talk about capacity building, training women, because a lot of women want to do these businesses but they lack the skills. So training them, building their capacity to be able to possess the skills that they need to go out there and make these differences. And then granting access to finance to women, to promote micro loans, maybe through small cooperatives, credit unions and things like that, to promote micro loans and grants that help these women to be able to invest in these creative entrepreneurial ventures and make money for themselves. And then to also create market linkages to connect those women with buyers. There are a lot of women who are engaged in these things, but some of them are not educated. They don't even know how to reach the market in the world out there. So connecting them to maybe e-commerce platforms and trade fairs will actually help them sell those goods, and it will boost their confidence and help them to do more. And then there is also digital tools, equipping women with mobile apps, mobile phones, Android phones that have access to internet, teaching them online and on-site through storytelling, digital skills, and things like that, that help to build their skills and help them to grow in the entrepreneurial journey. Now, we have supportive policies, advocating for inclusive policies like tax incentives and creative industry recognition. If creative industries can be recognized and if they can be given incentives, because they are actually very helpful for the community due to the fact that most of them deal with waste, they need to be given incentives. All right, so collective models. We can encourage cooperatives and creative hubs for shared resources and resilience building. So there is a small picture there showing success. If we put all these actions into play, it's going to guarantee success. So what is the call to action? The call to action, the first call to action I'll address is to women. Women should believe in the value of their creativity. As a woman, you should have high self-esteem and believe that your ideas can transform lives, not just your life, but the lives of your family members, the lives of your communities, and the lives of the world at large. And then what's the call to action to stakeholders? Stakeholders should be able to invest in women-led creative enterprises to drive inclusion and growth. They should not discriminate against these women. They should invest in their enterprises. And then call to action for communities. Let communities support and celebrate women's ventures, entrepreneurial ventures made by women. People should break the stereotype of always feeling that women cannot do that well. They should support them. They should buy the things these women produce. They should support them in one way or the other in order to encourage them to grow. And so I leave you all with this one word. Next slide, please. This one sentence: empowered women empower the world. If women are empowered, they will empower their children, they will empower their husbands, they will empower their families, and so they will empower their communities and thereby empowering the world. Thank you all for your keen attention. I hope I did not take too much of the time. This presentation was done by Moma Janet, founder of Mending Minds. Thank you all for your keen attention. I'm waiting for reactions, questions, and whatever else might come. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Madam Janet. Thank you so much. Slide to be shared. Slide to be shared. So our second speaker for today is Madam Madrin Chukudi from Zimbabwe. She is a marketplace leader. She is currently leading one of the leading research think tanks in Zimbabwe. She has accomplished advocacy, gender and child protection, safeguarding specialist and subject matter expert for HIV and AIDS, mental newborn child health, safeguarding and gender. She is a philanthropist, founding director of Extreme Children Trust, an organization that caters for orphan and vulnerable children. She is an economical leader with desire to contribute to the growth and expansion of the kingdom. She is the founder of Extreme Holistic Coaching, an organization whose vision is to inspire and well-balanced generations through inculcating a holistic approach to life and wellness issues. She is a woman who broke through gender barriers by founding a logistic company called Extreme Haulage, a private limited company. She is a board member of a local and international non-governmental organization. She will be talking on bridging entrepreneurship action with clear SDG outcomes. Madam Mandarin, the floor is all yours. You're welcome. Thank you.
Thank you very much for this opportunity and greetings to everybody. I love this topic because I do a lot of work with various people across the globe, both male, female, but my inclination is mostly towards women. And I try to bring a holistic approach to wellness issues so that people live a balanced life. Because when one area is lacking, you find that other areas suffer. So my goal is to try to ensure that women experience all sectors of life. And where they are lagging behind, I try to assist and empower them so that they come to the same level. And it's a process that I'm still working for. Thank you. My topic has already been said, and I've got 10 minutes to share on my presentation. Firstly, I just want to touch on the SDGs, which are a universal framework aimed at addressing global challenges. And these include education, which I will talk about, gender equality, decent work and economic growth, reduced inequalities, and partners for goals. So entrepreneurs create new ideas and make new solutions that help to align with these goals. And in line with this topic of bridging entrepreneurial actions with clear outcomes, this requires strategic approach which integrates business objectives with sustainable practices. Accordingly, my presentation will explore how entrepreneurs can effectively contribute to SDGs through actionable strategies and collaboration efforts. And to start us off, on the next presentation, I'm going to be talking about some of the statistics on global entrepreneurs, just to give us an appreciation of what the global arena has to say about our women in terms of entrepreneurship. So globally, approximately 37% of entrepreneurs are women. Women entrepreneurs represent approximately 20 to 45 formal owners in different countries. Share of women-owned business is approximately 30 to 40% of small and medium enterprises, SMEs, which are owned by women. 30 to 40% of formal micro, small and medium enterprises have female ownership. And coming closer home in Zimbabwe, where I live, for example, 60% of women in the labor force are unskilled, 37.5 are skilled, and 2.5 are highly skilled. Thus confirming the limitations of women to non-decision making positions and portfolios. And this is one of my key roles where I've been advocating for women empowerment, and the sources, I have highlighted them at the bottom of my presentation. So I want to move on to talk about how entrepreneurs can make a contribution. And they can make a contribution through finding new solutions for old problems. Albert Einstein says, you cannot solve the problems of today being at the same level you were when they were created. In other words, when you want to solve problems, you need to scale up so that you are able to make a meaningful difference. So the solutions that have been experienced, informed by research, you find that we are able to identify gaps and come up with meaningful strategies of how we can effectively solve this. And in my organization, that is exactly what I have been doing and still doing. The other aspect is that of creating jobs. And we do this in order to help economies, communities grow economically. We therefore complement government efforts by coming up with initiatives in our small spheres of influence, making sure that we build the capacity of women and also other people. Like I said, I don't only deal with women, but primarily the bulk of the people that I deal with are women, but I also deal with young people and including boys. So we create employment so that they are economically empowered. And also, we make use of resources wisely, because one of the challenges that we experience in this world is the aspect of stewardship and accountability. So we therefore ensure that we save water, we save energy, and we reduce waste so that we can work with the resources, minimum resources, but producing altitude results. We also support communities. We help local people and environments. Wherever we are, we want to make sure that we are empowering communities, and we are also making sure that we give back to the environment. For example, in the areas where I work, you find that there's a lot of deforestation and environmental degradation. So what we do is we plant trees as a way of giving back to the community. And we also the other aspect is that of attracting investment. We attract domestic and foreign investment, boosting the economy's capital base and creating further development. And that takes me to my next slide, where I will talk of how I have contributed to women entrepreneurs. And I have done so in line with SDG 4, on education, by providing entrepreneurial skills to women so that they can gain knowledge. Moreover, this promotes fairness in access to education for all. And it has been a wonderful experience in the areas that I work in, especially where children were being susceptible to child marriages. We managed to advocate for policies where there could be second chance for education for children who have been violated, and they have children and it affects their education. So we have been able to get them back to school through what we call the second chance education. Consequently, they are now confident to start and grow their businesses because we empower them on skills based on where they are in terms of their level of education. And also, one of the things that we have done is breaking barriers, though it is still a process. Education for women to challenge stereotypes that they can be entrepreneurs, because they grew up being told that they cannot do it. They grew up being told that a woman has to sit down, her role is in the kitchen. They grew up being told that they cannot lead. So we have to deal with issues of self-esteem and boosting their confidence so that they can also go onto the market. I managed to establish marketing and linkages in line with SDG 8 on decent work and economic growth. One of the challenges I have in my country, I don't know if it is the same with other countries, there's this coping mechanism where when one person gets into business, for example, if they start selling tomatoes, you will have a kilometer of women selling tomatoes. As a result, you find that they will struggle in terms of marketing those perishable products. As a result, they end up losing because they are perishable products and they end up throwing them away. So what I have been able to do effectively is to establish linkages for them and linking them with areas where they can sell their products. And also it promotes inclusive and economic growth, productive employment, and decent work. Market linkages fit into SDG 8 because they enhance livelihoods, access to markets, and job creation with value chain. So in terms of clear SDGs, as I almost come to an end, we create businesses that provide jobs and skills to local people, helping to reduce poverty in line with SDG 1 and promote decent work. And number 2, use of materials and energy that are renewable and less harmful to the planet, supporting climate in line of action of SDG 13 on climate action. And offer training programs or tools that help people learn new skills, contributing to quality of education as in SDG 4. Provide opportunities and leadership roles for women and marginalized communities in line with SDG 5 and SDG 10. Use simple indicators such as people helped, amount of waste reduced, ECT, to measure impact. Because one of the things that I've been grappling with as a developmental worker is having meetings, having workshops, but being unable to measure impact. So we come up with indicators so that they guide us in terms of the impact that we are making. So the indicators have to be simple. And also to incorporate SDGs into business planning. So in other words, every business plan, it has to contribute to the goals. And partner with organizations, example, collaborations with government, NGOs, and business partners. And as a development practitioner as well, we are into consortiums where we resource mobilize together, bringing in different skills so that we maximize on resources. So in conclusion, I'm saying entrepreneurs play a critical role in advancing SDGs by promoting innovation, creating jobs, and promoting sustainable resource use. And also, despite existing barriers, mainstreaming SDGs can significantly enhance inclusive economic growth and sustainable development. And finally, by embedding SDG into business planning and encouraging collaborations across sectors, entrepreneurs can effectively contribute to achieving a more equitable, sustainable, and resilient world. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Madam Mandarin. Thank you so much. The speakers today are so powerful. They came out with power. Our third speaker for today's session is Madam Kezika Itel Abo from Cameroon. She is a life experience mental health advocate and mental health certified first responder. She is the founder of Association for Mental Health, Association and Care Cameroon, where she runs programs that seeks to improve community understanding of mental health through visual and physical training and community outreach. She is a founder and currently leading the first edition of her flagship project, Crown for a Cause, a mental health awareness picnic that seeks to shine light on mental health by empowering voices and inspiring changes. So she will be talking on how women entrepreneurs drive gender equality and decent work through mental health centric leadership. Miss Kezita, you're welcome. The floor is all yours. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Good afternoon, everyone. I don't know if you're going to be sharing my slides or I should go ahead.
Hi, could you please, I'm going to share my screen. Please confirm me whether they are your slides or not.
Hello?
Yes, miss. Please give me time. I will share it with Miss Zoha and she will share it in the screen, okay?
Please just hold on. Your slide
Alright.
will be shared.
All right, thank you.
Is this your slide, miss?
Confirm me.
No, that's not mine.
Okay, let me
That's not yours?
other one.
No.
Okay. Okay, please give us time. Miss Zoha is sharing your slides.
All right.
These one?
No, I think it's not. Miss, is
I
this
don't
yours?
have.
No, that's not
No, this is
mine.
not her.
Ms. Tamia, please share them with me so that I can share.
Okay, my dear Zoha, let me just check it if she's shared with us or not.
Her slide is the last slide that was shared in the group.
It was
That's
hers?
yes,
Yes.
please.
Okay. Okay. Miss Saka, please do share it with Miss Zoha because I don't have the slides with me. My WhatsApp had got banned.
Okay, let me share you on WhatsApp right now.
Please share it with Miss Zoha.
I'm waiting. I've shared it already on her WhatsApp.
Okay, perfect, my dear. She will get. Dear Zoha, did you receive it?
So I have received them. I'm going to share my screen now.
Oh, thank you so much. Okay. Miss, can you see it? Your slides?
Yes, I can.
You can start now. Thank you so much.
Okay. All right. Thank you very much. Good afternoon once again, everyone. Thank you for having me, and I'm very glad to be joining this very important conversation. So my name is Kinzika Etel Abo Kenwe, and I'm a lived experienced mental health advocate in Cameroon. I've already been introduced, and I would just like to correct that it is mental health. Crown for a Cause is a mental health awareness pageant that seeks to shine light on mental health by empowering voices and bringing change. So today I'm going to be presenting on the topic, how women entrepreneurs drive gender equality and decent work through mental health-centric leadership. Okay, let me just start by reading out this quote. We cannot ask people to change the world if we cannot provide them with a world that can sustain their change. If people provide the change that we ask for and the world does not provide an environment that will sustain that change, we're wasting our time. So let me just give it, because of the time that has been allocated, I'll just quickly go straight into the presentation. So the general introduction we have, instead of sticking to the reactive model, by celebrating the hustle culture, glorifying excessive hard work, and treating burnout as a badge of honor, mental health should be treated as a primary requirement for starting a business. I always say this. I have this thing that I always say that nobody has ever been given a badge or a trophy or has won a lottery because they suffered the most. Because society has made it in such a way that women always suffer the most in every sector. So instead of celebrating the hustle culture, glorifying excessive hard work and burnout as a badge of honor, let's prioritize mental health and treat it as a primary requirement for starting a business. Entrepreneurs have understood the need for such a shift and are not just offering wellness perks, but rather treating mental health at the core of their business. Today, we are going to briefly discuss how women leaders are using the mental health-centric approach to become the most effective drivers of global change, advancing gender equality. That's SDG 5, and truly creating decent work, SDG 8, all built on the foundation of good health and well-being, which is SDG 3. Let's note that the foundation is SDG 3, good health, and well-being. Next slide, please. Before we delve into talking about that, let's understand some few key definitions, some key terms. From the topic, we have entrepreneur, we have gender equality, we have decent work, we have leadership, we have mental health, and we have mental health-centric leadership. Now, who is an entrepreneur? It's anybody who starts a new business, taking on the financial risk and uncertainties with the aim of profit and motivation. Gender equality is a state where all genders have equal rights, opportunities, and treatment in all spheres of society, including economic participation and decision-making. We live in a world where we are still struggling to balance, to make the gender situation balanced, to make it equal, because some positions in the professional space are still reserved for men. Some positions in the government are still reserved for men, but women are making sure that women have started breaking these barriers. That's why you will see female president in countries. You will see women delving into logistics, like the previous speaker mentioned, that she owns a logistic company. That's something that people will naturally feel like is meant for men. So we are gradually getting there. You have decent work. Employment is the production. Decent work is employment that is production, delivers a fair, that is productive, delivers a fair income, provides security. Please, are we there? You have moved to the next slide. So should we, okay, let's go ahead. We are familiar with the stereotype associated with two educated women, girl boss or super stressed entrepreneur who is always burnout. Let's talk about a new way of leading. Understand the fact that taking care of your team's mental health is not an unnecessary but success. I missed out something here. Rather ideal path to success. Okay, it's not a waste of time, but the ideal path to success. By doing this, they are practically helping in building a fairer and better world for everyone. Next slide, please. I missed out something there. Can I have the next slide, please? Okay, thank you. What should our mandate as women leaders be? Now, we should speak to ourselves. First of all, those who are on this training, who are taking this training, and by extension, those who will be reaching out after here. So as a woman leader, because I believe that everybody who is here is a woman leader in one sphere or another, what should our mandate be as women leaders? We have the reactive model and we have the proactive model. The reactive model is the break-fix approach that focuses on crisis management, starting a venture without any mental wellness aspects factored in, and the focus is on work, and more work, till one is tired, stressed, and eventually burn out and start looking for ways to get help. The proactive model is the exact opposite of the reactive model. It has to do with building safety systems right from the business inception. They adopt a strategy whereby they are focused on anticipating and preventing problems before they occur rather than reacting to them after they happen. Now, let's take the example of you being in the kitchen. You have a fire extinguisher. That's the proactive model. You have prepared ahead of time. In case there is a fire, you have the extinguisher, you put out the fire. But in the reactive model, you are in the kitchen, you don't have a fire extinguisher, fire breaks out, and you start calling the fire brigade. It takes them a while to get there, and before they get to where you are to help you, there might be a lot of casualties. So next, the new leaders, the empathy advantage. Now, when we talk about the new leaders and the empathy advantage, what are we talking about? Why is the proactive shift being led by women entrepreneurs? Let's look at this. Let's look at it from this perspective. A lot of women have lived through the old broken system as they have in most cases been expected to be highly productive 9-to-5 CEOs and effective caregivers, and still giving 100% at running their homes as mothers. They know firsthand what it means to break and fix. There are so many times that you as a woman in your home, you get to a point where you feel like, I cannot do this anymore. But then somehow you get back on your feet and you continue. You're running the home, you're doing the work, you're doing everything that is required of you. As a gender with natural empathy, they build. Now, when you've experienced all of that, when you want to launch a business, you're launching it from a place of experience. You've been through all of those ups and downs. You felt you've been through the stress, the pain, not having someone to be there for you. So when you're starting a business, you have to consider all of those things so that your staff, those you'll be working with, will have a conducive environment to work in and be able to produce, to be very productive. As women are naturally very empathetic. So as a gender with natural empathy, they build their companies not just guessing what their employees need, but include right at the foundation of the business the exact support system they wish they had. They are turning their past pain into a better policy for everyone. At this point, I would like to add that using our pain, using our story as a stepping stone in order to help others is very important. And this is what most women are doing today. Thank you. For the next slide. Foundation, good health and well-being. What does the proactive support look like? Now, my emphasis is on proactive support because that is what should be going on. That is what businesses should build on when they are starting from the get-go. They should not wait for things to start falling apart before they start looking for help. That's why the emphasis, this work, this presentation is mostly geared towards the proactive support or the proactive model. What does the proactive support look like? Psychological safety. Psychological safety at the workplace means that you can be you at the job site. You can be human. That's an environment, a safe space where if you make a mistake or you feel overwhelmed, you can express yourself to your colleague or to your boss without necessarily feeling like you might get demoted, you can be fired, or they might laugh at you or feel like you're weak. That's where you are psychologically safe to express yourself. And another one would be a proactive system. proactive support will mean that there is a proactive system. How is that? You don't just say, I care about you. You show how it is active by doing. Let's take the example of maybe the mental health awareness day, or the mental health awareness week, or the mental health month, that some job sites, companies, businesses decide that, okay, for this period of time, our workers are free to take sick leave, check on their wellness, their mental state, and all of that. You have a proactive system that includes all of this. It makes your workers happy, relaxed, and very productive. And then we have destigmatization. Now, normalizing discussions, conversations that concern mental health at the job site makes people to feel free to talk and not feel stigmatized whenever they have to express themselves, not be afraid like, okay, they're going to say I am this, stereotypes and all of that. So it's important that even as a woman leader who is leading in any sphere, if you were to maybe leave your job site and go to the hospital to check on you, if you had a mental health related appointment at the hospital, if you want to leave the office or you want to leave your job site, you tell your workers, I'm stepping out for this, that you mention it, a mental health check. I have an appointment for a mental health check. Just like you would do when you have a dentist appointment, that will make your workers feel really at home because they can discuss any and everything. Thank you. For the next slide. The impact that is redefining work and equality. Now, when we as women leaders adopt, include mental health at the foundation of our businesses. You want to start a business, you need capital, you need workers, you need raw materials, you need money, you need a mental wellness system. You need to factor that in as well. So as women leaders, if we bring this at the beginning and adopt the proactive model, it's going to promote gender equality, which is SDG 5, and it's going to create decent work, which is SDG 8. By making work flexible, they are making it possible for women to lead without having to choose between their jobs and their family's well-being. Most women do the 5 to 9 jobs, and they still have the task of going back at home and taking care of the entire family. Now, if you have this if there's this flexibility at work, it will not be so much on them. They will not have to choose. They know that, okay, I can do my job and then I go back to taking care of my family. You have a decent job is not just about a good paycheck. It's about not being miserable while doing your job. You should not be miserable. It should not be the kind of job where you are there like, okay, I'm here for the money. You should enjoy what you're doing because you are doing it in an environment where you are welcome and where you are taken care of, both physically and mentally. So these leaders are proving that a decent job must also be a psychologically safe one. Thank you. For the next slide. The ripple effect, partnership for change. When women leaders adopt this kind of approach in their workplace, it has a ripple effect. Let me give an example. If a business has a free Wi-Fi, there where you go, when you go to get their services, you sit there, they give you their password and you sit there and browse. Now, the next business will lose customers to you. Your competitors will lose customers to you because they don't have that there. And by effect, they will gradually adopt what you're doing, or they can come to you and ask, what are you doing? How did you do this? How did you do this? And that is how the gospel of being taking the proactive model spreads. So women across the business sector are copying this strategy. This is because it has proven to be the best way to work. One woman or one company cannot do it by themselves. They are getting into partnerships to set new standards for everyone. Next slide, please. Okay, I'll just quickly conclude. To wrap this up, here's my takeaway. Mental wellness is the most powerful and ethical tool we have for building a fairer and more productive and sustainable world. It is the operating system for all human and economic development, and we as women will be doing ourselves and our communities a huge service if we factor this in at the foundational level of our business initiatives. I will recommend mental health centric leadership today and tomorrow. What is the situation at your place of work as a woman leader? This question goes to all of us here. I'm going to leave this as a food for thought. What is the situation at your place of work as a woman leader? I challenge you to look at your own teams and companies or businesses and ask yourself this question. Am I building a sustainable system through the reactive method, or am I waiting through the proactive method, or am I waiting for the next crisis through the reactive method? Thank you very much for listening.
Thank you so much, dear speaker. Today we have such an ambitious and enthusiastic speakers. Hello everyone, my name is Javeria Siddiq and I'm from Pakistan, and professionally I'm a freelancer and a content creator. I have been working in the freelance industry for the last 8 years, helping clients globally while building my career with passion and consistency. I am grateful for the opportunity to moderate today's session. So, before starting today's session, I want to share something from my personal experience, as we all are females here. So, let me say something from my heart, and that is whatever your goals, your dreams, or your projects are, before anything else, work on yourself. It's very important. We women are naturally emotional, and sometimes this leads us to make decisions from the heart instead of the mind. So, that is why we often face challenges that become difficult to handle. So, my message to all of you is strengthen yourself emotionally, mentally, spiritually, and financially. Life challenges come to everyone. So, but if you are a strong woman, and you will know how to face them, so it will be very much convenient for you, because big dreams always come with big tests. And I am sharing this because you all are like my sisters, and I don't know when we will get the chance to speak again. So that's why I wanted to leave this message for you from my heart and in my experience. So now let's move to the session. We have an exceptional lineup of speakers today. Our next speaker is Mr. Geoffrey Wilson from Cameroon. He is the CEO of Afritech Global and Afritech Academy, and a non-profit organization offering free online digital literacy courses to equip people across Africa with essential skills for today's digital economy. A web developer, tech trainer, and mentor, Mr. Wilson also serves as the director of Afritech Institute in Cheng, I think in Chang, Cameroon, a professional training center empowering youth through certified tech programs. He was recognized as Cameroon's best digital entrepreneur in 2020. His mission is to help businesses grow sustainably through smart digital solutions. Today, he will be speaking on harnessing artificial intelligence for women's entrepreneur and women's empowerment. Mr. Wilson, the floor is yours. Thank you.
Thank you so much, and thank you, everyone. It's a great privilege to be here and to join this very powerful panel of speakers, as well as attendees in today's event. Please, I would like you to share my slides if you have them, Andy. All right, thank you very much. Today I'll be talking on the topic that is now taking the world by storm. Everybody is talking about it, which is artificial intelligence. I started talking about this as far back as 2017 in the media, but it never occurred to me that AI would come powerfully at the scale that we are seeing today. So we are going to have a discussion right here on harnessing artificial intelligence for women empowerment. And just before we proceed, some data by LinkedIn shows that less than 30% of AI professionals are women. And if we today are talking about women empowerment and forgetting an important sector like this, estimated that by the end of 2025 will lead to 97 million jobs. Trying to have gender balance without constraint aspects like this will be a very, very disturbing mistake. So the goal of this presentation is to share insights on how AI or artificial intelligence can become a tool of empowerment, helping women across Africa and globally to learn, innovate, and lead. So we are going to, our presentation shall focus on the Sustainable Development Goals number 4, 5, 8, 10, and 17. We have quality education, gender equality, decent work, and economic growth. So please, next slide. So what is artificial intelligence? In simple terms, it's when a machine can think and act like a human being. Any machine that can think and act like us, that is what AI is all about. So if you think of AI, think of a human being inside of a machine. Let's look at some common examples in our daily lives. Many people might think that AI started with the emergence of generative tools like ChatGPT, but that's actually an acceleration of what AI has always been. On our mobile phones, our phones can now recognize our faces to unlock the phones, our fingerprints. That's AI in action. We have chatbots that answer our questions like ChatGPT, Gemini, Grok, and many other tools, some of which I believe some of us are already using. We have social media feeds. You know, if you must have realized, you see that on platforms like Facebook, the more of something you are interested in, the more the platform shows you. So it's like a human being. If you discover that your child likes something, you keep giving more of that. So AI is very good at pattern recognition, and it helps in keeping our social media to our taste. Google search and many others. In fact, AI has existed for many years, and today it's now a very, very important aspect of our daily life. So it's not just, when we look at AI, it's not all about the hype on social media about robots will take over the world or destroy the world. It's actually looking at how machines can now make our life so much more easier. Next slide, please. Now, here's the challenge, especially as far as women are concerned. While AI is shaping the world, many women are being left behind, just like the LinkedIn data I made mention that less than 30% of AI professionals, around 25%, meaning that the male gender is still taking 75% of the opportunities that exist in AI. So women have to rise up to this as well. But there are challenges that are really affecting especially women across various cultures. women are limited, the access to digital tools are limited, and as well as training. So they have that limitation, reason why men are dominating by 75%. The gender gap in the tech field, it's not just AI, other tech fields, women are still far back. And this is a call for concern, considering the important role that women always play in every sector of the society. Financial inequality and a fewer funding opportunities, just like one of our previous speakers have said, women are always given less consideration when it comes to financing, loans, and some other things. So these are the challenges that are really pulling women back from releasing their full potential. And it's by having this discussion that a woman will live here and start to advocate that women can be empowered to take their place in the AI race. So if women are not part of this digital shift, the gap will widen, and this will further widen other gender inequality gaps that already exist. And so it's a very important call for concern. Next, please. So now knowing where the challenge is, where the difficulty is, what are the ways of leveraging AI for women's empowerment? How can women get involved? From the very simplest terms, women from local communities to every part of the world, what are some of the ways that women can get involved? Please, let's move on to the next. Number one is AI empowerment in education. You know, education forms the bedrock of every society. Even how to use AI or how to build AI will start from educating people, because ignorance costs quite much more. So as far as education is concerned, AI-powered platforms are changing how women and girls learn. So women, therefore, can use AI, various AI tools, to even learn how to use AI and other technologies. It can go a long way. AI can offer personalized lessons that are tailored to your particular unique situation. You know, we come from different cultures and different backgrounds, and we have different realities. So AI can help level the ground by giving us personalized lessons, mentorship, and online opportunities, regardless of where we find ourselves. And at our institution, Afritech Institute and Afritech Academy, both training platforms. The institute is a vocational professional training institution based in Chang, Cameroon, while Afritech Academy is a platform that teaches digital literacy skills. And it can be beneficial to you right here. If you want to learn digital tools, digital literacy skills, knowledge on digital tools and platforms, then Afritech Academy is here for you. So the training is 100% free and it's online. You can learn at your own pace. So after this, I hope you note this, Afritech Academy, you go check out the courses, including courses on AI. So you can check that out. And feel free to reach out to us for any form of collaboration. We are open to that as well. And through what we have done, training more than 8,000 people, we've seen how women are leveraging this to get jobs and business opportunities. And our next point is AI empowerment in entrepreneurship. We know as far as entrepreneurship is concerned, women are still lagging behind. And we've witnessed this right in our various local communities here in Cameroon, where men always take the lead and women follow. But I believe that we are moving towards a more equitable world where women have equal opportunities as the male. So how can AI come in helpful to help women achieve this. It can help women in automating marketing and sales. There are various automation tools that can answer chats, take customer inquiries, and even help in the sales process. In fact, there are AI agents that can help answer your phone calls, even in your apps, and you just need to train it on what you do. It helps in making data-driven decisions and also research in business. Content creation. As a woman content creator, this AI can greatly accelerate the process, not just by you giving a prompt and getting the content, but helping you to brainstorm, get ideas, fine-tune what you have created, and so on. As far as business automation, it can really help to automate various processes. So AI helps save time, increases profits, and creates space for creativity. It's not about replacing people, it's more about amplifying potential. So look, as a woman finder, a woman's founder, think of AI as starting a business by having like 5 additional employees. Is there to accelerate what you can do in record time instead of replacing you. Because at the end of the day, we will need humans to drive the AI change. Next, please. The next way that women can use AI to their advantage is for economic and social inclusion. We have gender equality. With AI tools, it can now be able to access and analyze a wide range of data. It can analyze a wide range of data and helps to track and reduce gender gaps in work and education. Gender-based violence response. There are now smart apps that enable safe reporting and quick support, all powered by AI. We have health and safety. We have chatbots now offering guidance on wellness and protection. And this, please, I'm not saying you should start using AI as your doctor, but just having general health knowledge through AI tools can really help women avoid some complications that particularly affect women. And as far as empowering women is concerned, women can use AI in farming, trade, and entrepreneurship. And this is where we are calling on women to lead AI innovations. You know, women don't have to stand behind. We can hear of people like Sam Altman, Larry Page, Sergey Brin of Google, Microsoft. We still continue to hear of the male gender. We want to now start hearing of women who can use these tools. So as a woman, right here, especially those who are passionate about technology, think of what is the next big thing that you can create. Must all tech founders be male? You as a woman, you can start today. You can open ChatGPT. If you don't have ChatGPT, go to your App Store or Google Play Store, download it, and it could be a companion to give you ideas. You can be a woman founder that takes the global stage in the field of technology. Thanks to AI. The good thing is AI can help you learn AI. Next, please. So to conclude, I'll conclude with a few statements here. AI is not replacing people as many are thinking. It's instead empowering those who use it. Of course, AI is going to, because of AI, some people will no longer be needed. So you need to shift. Find out how AI will affect your career in the next year, 5 years, or 10 years, so that you can begin to make that necessary adjustment. But know that while some doors are closing, many more are opening. So women should not be left behind. So let's ensure that women are at the heart of that revolution. The next big thing has come. The dot-com revolution happened in the 1990s. The next revolution is the AI revolution. We hope that women will not be spectators, but will be actors, innovators, inventors in this. The future belongs to those who learn, collaborate, and innovate. As a woman right here, You have great tools in your hands. You can begin to research about AI on Google, on YouTube, even on AI tools like ChatGPT, Gemini, and so on. Use them to your advantage. Women, as we know, can do just as men, and it starts with that determination. Everyone here, be you a man or a woman, is encouraged to explore AI tools, share knowledge, and create change where you are. And like I said before, you can check out AfriTech Academy. Just by Googling it, you'll find it, or go to afritechacademy.org to see the courses that we have. We have a course which, if you are interested, you can reach out to me and I will share the link. You can share it in your communities. It has tutorials on using various AI tools for different purposes. So if you need it, just get in touch. Afritech Academy is a non-profit, so there's no barrier to entry. So thank you everyone for your keen attention.
Thank you so much for the amazing and informative presentation, Mr. Wilson. You are absolutely right. It's really, really important as a woman. And for us, of course, we should learn AI. If we have our goals, if we want to do something in our life, we really need to learn AI. So thank you so much. Our next speaker is Ma'am Patience Chikwira, a grooming and etiquette coach, STEAM and life skills trainer, and trauma therapist with Zimbabwe Without Orphans. She is also a radio personality on KP Talk FM's program, Acting Proper, and a volunteer lead with the Eat Out movement, focusing on community welfare. She is the founder of the Jubilee movement, which supports vulnerable children with school, shoes, and stationery. As a writer and speaker, she continues to champion social impact. She will be presenting on Grassroots to Global Impact, Women Redefining Leadership in the NGO World. Miss Patience, the floor is yours.
Thank you, ma'am. You can start with my slides. I'm ready. Thank you.
I'm going to share your slides. Just give me a minute.
Thank you so much. My topic this afternoon is Grassroots to Global Impact, Women Redefining Leadership in the NGO World. I will just basically touch on a few things that most of the women have touched on, that when organizations are led by women, at times there are a lot of things that take place. So my presentation for the global panel on the women's leadership in development and entrepreneurship starts off. I will go on to the next slide. Thank you. Women-led NGOs have emerged as transformative agents driving progress across multiple sustainable development goals, which are the SDGs, which we are looking at the moment. Through innovative models, inclusive leadership, and community-based approaches, women entrepreneurs are redefining development paradigms. This presentation explores, number one, innovative models and practices led by women entrepreneurs. Number two, real-world impact across SDG domains, gender equality, climate action, and decent work. Number three, challenges, learning, and pathways for scaling inclusive entrepreneurship. Case study by me and an organization that I normally deal with, as I am Zimbabwe, that also donates and assists us with projects on making reusable pads, which is the model of grassroots innovation and sustainable empowerment. We'll go to the next one.
ane pane mangwanda ari kuti 100 anodhura ane chinhu chamatenga asi ane chinhu chiya chekuti
Hi, Ms. Clara. Please mute yourself.
ande 100 something.
Somebody's mic is on. My introduction on number one, background. Globally, women-led NGOs are closing critical social and economic gaps by addressing systematic inequalities and promoting sustainable livelihoods. These organizations often emerge in contexts of limited state capacity, filling urgent needs in health, education, climate resilience, and gender equality. My second part is problem statement. Despite women's demonstrated leadership and innovation, they still face underrepresentation in funding, policy making, and global economic participation. Understanding, understanding, understanding their models of success is key to building equitable development. The research objective to analyze the contributions, innovations, and challenges of women-led NGOs and propose strategies for scaling inclusive, gender-responsive entrepreneurship aligned with SDGs. We'll go on to the next slide. Innovative models and practices led by women entrepreneurs. My point number 2, social innovation models. Women-led NGOs frequently integrate economic empowerment with social justice. Their approaches combine entrepreneurship, education, and environment stewardship. Examples: circular economy enterprises, turning waste into economic value, which one of the speakers also spoke about, e.g. plastic recycling by women cooperatives in India and Kenya. Community-based health enterprises, integrating menstrual health, maternal wellness, and local production. Digital empowerment hubs, training rural women in e-commerce and digital marketing for sustainable incomes. We'll go on to the next slide. And this is a case study that I did with an organization that I deal with as I Am Zimbabwe, that focuses on bringing in reusable pads as well as the disposable pads. Model type, social entrepreneurship, and skills development. Our mission is to promote menstrual health, dignity, and economic empowerment through the local production of reusable sanitary pads. The key innovations: training rural women and farm workers in reusable pad manufacturing, providing entrepreneurship training for women to become local distributors, promoting environmental sustainability by reducing disposable pad waste, partnering with schools and NGOs to advance menstrual hygiene education. The SDG contributions are SDG 3, good health and well-being, enhancing menstrual health awareness. SDG number 5, gender equality, empowering women and economically and socially. SDG number 8, decent work, generating livelihoods opportunities through micro enterprises. SDG number 12, responsible consumption and production, promoting eco-friendly practices. Our approach empowers women not to just manage their cycles, but to manage their future. We'll go on to the next one. SDG number 5, women-led NGO contributions, global examples. SDG number 1, no poverty, microfinance and women's cooperatives reducing income gaps, Grameen-inspired models in sub-Saharan Africa. SDG number 3, health and menstrual and maternal health initiatives, PADUP Zimbabwe, as well as I Am Zimbabwe, Days for the Girls. SDG number 5, gender equality leadership, mentorship and advocacy, Women Ascension Initiative. SDG number 8, decent work creation of green jobs and social enterprises, African Women's Development Fund partners. SDG number 13, climate action, women-led reforestation and waste reduction projects, green movement in Kenya. Shall we move up a bit? Shall we move to the top a bit? Thank you. These contributions collectively reinforce the interconnected nature of SDGs, women's empowerment drives holistic community transformation. These contributions collectively reinforce the interconnected nature of the SDGs. Women's empowerment drives holistic community transformation. The next slide, shall we move up a bit? Challenges faced by women-led NGOs. Number one, financial barriers, limited access to gender-sensitive funding projects, donor fatigue, and short project cycles. Number two, cultural and structural constraints, persistent gender stereotypes and exclusion from decision-making. Number three, digital and knowledge gaps, inadequate access to technology and data tools. Number four, sustainability pressures, difficulty in scaling while maintaining local authenticity and community ownerships. Number five, global recognition. Women-led initiatives often are underrepresented in international policy forums. We'll go to the next one. This slide talks about pathways for scaling inclusive entrepreneurships. Number one, policy and institutional support. Mainstream gender in national SDG strategies. Establish women's innovation funds and impact investment vehicles. Number two, technology and digital inclusion. Expand digital literacy programs for rural women. Leverage online platforms for marketing and impact visibility. Number three, South-South collaboration. Regional knowledge exchange among African, Asian, and Latin American women-led NGOs. Joint advocacy for equitable trade and climate justice. Number four, education and capacity building, leadership academies and mentorship pipelines for emerging women social entrepreneurs. We'll go on to the next one. Thank you. In conclusion, women-led NGOs are redefining global development landscape. Their models of innovation through inclusion demonstrate that social impact and entrepreneurship are not mutually exclusive. They are mutually reinforcing. This is my story, and others like me who are embodied in the vision of SDGs, empowered women leading sustainable communities towards dignity, equality, and resilience. Investing in women is investing in the world's most renewable source, human potential. Shall we go on to the next one? Pathways for scaling inclusive entrepreneurship, access to gender-sensitive funding models, micro grants, impact investments, and crowdfunding. Number two, policy advocacy, inclusion of women-led NGOs in national SDG frameworks, technology and innovation integration of e-commerce, digital learning, and data-driven impact measurement, regional networking platforms, Pan-African NGO forums for knowledge exchange. Shall we go into the next one as we wind up? In closing, our proposed topics for expert sessions, from grassroots to global impact, women redefining leadership in the NGO world. Let's also take on focus areas, innovations in women-led social enterprises, SDGs aligned practices and measurable impact, gender and transformation leadership for the future generation. The takeaway message, women-led NGOs are not just service providers, they're architects of transformation, shaping an equitable, sustainable, and inclusive world. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Miss Patience. It was really, really interesting. And thanks for your precious time. Our next speaker is Dr. Juliet, a linguistic consultant and psychologist, and a certified mental health therapist. She specializes in understanding the human mind, communication, and emotional wellness, all essential components of women's empowerment and personal development. Dr. Juliet, the floor is yours. Thanks.
Thank you so very much. Hello, everyone. It's quite an honor to be part of you all this afternoon. Receive greetings, love, and light from Bamenda, Northwest region of Cameroon. Before I get to my slides, I have been so passionate about decent work and the sustainability of initiatives by women in the grassroots and also men, because I've seen a lot of talks ongoing regarding women empowerment. And I realized that if we keep empowering our women and we don't empower our men as well, we might find ourselves in a society where there's imbalance and there will be more problems we're creating. So at Nalela Sanctuary for Mental Health, Arts and Culture, we are creating this balanced platform where while we empower women, we also empower the men to see that there's that equilibrium in all we do. So my topic is on decent work and SDGs in Cameroon. My focus is on SDG number 8. I'll be looking at issues and a way forward. So I have this quote that I started with: success means doing the best we can with what we have. It doesn't mean, just a minute, let me ask my neighbors to bring down their volume because I can hear noise. I don't know, is the volume okay?
Yep, it's fine.
Okay, is the noise from outside interfering or it's okay?
I think
Because
if it is possible for you, so you can just slow down the volume if you don't mind.
okay, I'm going to ask them to be quiet. Please just give me.
Sure, take your time. Thank you.
Thank you very much for your patience. I had to ask my neighbors to bring down the volume. So, where was I? Now in Cameroon, like I said, I'll be talking about SDG number 8, decent work. Cameroon is implementing the SDGs with a focus on decent work number 8, which is what I choose to talk about today. And it aims to achieve full and productive employment through economic growth and policy support for job creation, thus reducing poverty, improving living standards, and driving economic growth. However, we're on second slide, please. However, the country faces challenges with economic growth lagging behind initial forecasts, and a significant portion of the youths are not educated, are not employed, are not trained professionally. Please, next slide. I just read this. So the strategy that the government has put in place, which is kind of a long-term goal to mitigate this, is by being part of the African Continental Free Trade Area. And it promotes inclusive initiatives like cooperatives and micro, small, and medium-sized enterprises. Next slide.
Hi.
Okay.
It was a first time today. It was on another Zoom meeting.
Is
Was
somebody
there recording?
Okay. Now, when we're talking about the concept of decent work, we are referring to work that is productive, that delivers fair income, provides security, and offers social protection as well as respect for the workers' rights. It encompasses various aspects, including but not limited to fair wages and benefits, safe and healthy working conditions, social protection and security, freedom of association and collective bargaining, equal treatment and non-discrimination at the workplace, and opportunities for personal growth and development. Next slide. Now, in this regard, a decent work environment can refer to a nurse working in a well-equipped hospital with fair pay and benefits, or a software engineer working for a company that provides a safe and healthy work environment, a small business owner who is able to earn a decent income and provide for their family, a farmer who is able to work in a sustainable and environmentally friendly way, or a house help rendering service in a home where she or he is treated as a human being with dignity, having friendly working hours, and a good salary to sustain herself and her family. Next. Now, if we are looking at the concept of decent work, it means there should be indecent work, right? So we're on the next slide, please. So what does this indecent work look like? And what does the International Labour Organization framework say regarding decent work? Some examples of indecent work as have been observed in Cameroon is child labor, forced labor, low wage work with poor working conditions, unfair and discriminatory treatment of workers. You can even identify more examples. It's really peculiar here in the Northwest region. It's a shame to say, but within the academic sector, you have teachers who work about 50, 60 hours a week, yet they earn less than $150. They earn, some of them even earn less than $100 per month. So that is very, very, that is low wage work with very poor conditions. So looking at the International Labour Organization framework for decent work, we have 4 pillars. That is, employment opportunities must be there. There must be social protection of the workers. There's be social dialogue and collective bargaining. And the workers need the right to work. They need to own that right, and it must be protected. Let's go to the next slide, please. Facts and statistics regarding Cameroon and SDG number 8. Regarding economic growth, the Cameroon economy grew by 4.6% in 2018, which was short of 7.0% forecast. And the growth rate of the GDP per capita has also slowed down. We recall that, for those who don't know, Cameroon has been observing a socio-political crisis since 2016, which has affected the Northwest and Southwest region, which are the English-speaking parts of Cameroon. And there's been a lot of murder, displacement, backwardness in development, slow economic growth, and forced labor, low wage labor, and discrimination in the workplace. So this has also contributed to slow down the GDP of the entire economy. Now, looking at youth unemployment, by 2020, the goal was to sustainably reduce the proportion of youths not in employment, education, training, and much more. However, this remains a significant challenge because regardless of the challenges that these 2 English-speaking regions face, the other regions that will want to believe, the French-speaking regions that will want to believe, that make up 80% of the country, that want to believe can sustain the economy, are not as productive as you would expect, because majority of the workforce are from these 2 English-speaking regions. And now that they are displaced and are in these French-speaking communities, they are forced to accept any kind of working condition just to live and sustain themselves, which are in most cases very deplorable and unhealthy. Now looking at poverty and undernourishment, in 2016, about 9.9% of the population suffered from undernourishment, highlighting the link between decent work and poverty reduction. Regarding SDG and funding, the decent work and economic growth, SDG number 8, is one of the highest funded SDGs in Cameroon, receiving 17.9% of overall resources, indicating its importance to the government and the development partners, according to the Nations Unies du Cameroon. Next slide. From all this, you can already start perceiving the challenges, right? So 1 in 3 Cameroonians live below the poverty line. That's according to World Bank statistics of 2020. And 70% of Cameroon's workforce is employed in the informal sector. This is according to International Labour Organization 2020. And agriculture accounts for 70% of employment in Cameroon, according to the let's not go there, you can see that. And employment rate in Cameroon is at 6.3% as of 2020. But as of 2025, today as we speak, we've not had accurate statistics, but you can believe that based on all what has been going on in the economy, this percentage has risen instead of dropping. Youth unemployment rate is at 10% as of 2020. That's people between 15 and 24, while the informal employment sector has up to 90% of people. That's already tell you that lots of the youth are unemployed, and most of these people are forced to be engaged in indecent work activities just to live by. While those who are in the opportunity to make things happen, to give them that convenience and equitability and security, are instead breathing down their throat. Poverty headcount in Cameroon is at 37.5% of the total population, living below $1.9 a day. This is really sad. Now we move to the next slide where we continue indicating the challenges. From what I've just shared, you can already see that the limited job opportunities, particularly as a result of this migration of people from this crisis zone to the Francophone areas, has caused a strife in the decent work space, which is now not decent. There are limited opportunities in rural areas which are semi-safe. Then there is a peculiar challenge of skill mismatch between education and the job market demand. There are thousands of Cameroonian youths who are graduates, yet what they study in school cannot be applied in the real world situation. There's high rates of informal employment with limited social demands, and child labor and forced labor persist in some sectors. Next slide. Now, as a result of all these challenges and more, which I've not highlighted, we are obliged to look at a way forward. The government has in place the National Development Strategy, which is Cameroon's 2020-2030 National Development Strategy, designed to support the SDGs and its Vision 2035 by promoting inclusive and sustainable growth. The next is the AFCFTA and regional integration, wherein the government has joined this commission, and it's expected that Cameroon is supposed to boost trade and investment, leading to increased output, more jobs, and better tax revenue. Again, we have support for small businesses. The government aims to encourage the growth of MSMEs by providing access to financial services. This is questionable. It's very accurate on paper, but as far as the implementation is concerned, we are really dwindling. We're actually limping to this fact. And the next is promoting cooperatives. We have initiatives like cooperatives that are being supported to create viable employment opportunities, especially for vulnerable groups like smallholders, farmers, unemployed youth, and the minority communities. Next slide. We are still looking at way forward. We have the international and UN cooperation, which is a framework with Cameroon that is joined with Cameroon to support interventions aligned with the National Development Strategy to promote decent work and economic growth. We also have the public-private partnership, where the government and the UN agencies are working together with civil society organizations and the private sector to implement the SDGs. We also have partnerships with private sectors and companies to provide apprenticeships and on-the-job training to youths who have gained academic prowess. We also have skill development and training, where the implementation of vocational training programs are focused on in-demand skills for youths who are willing and are competent. Next slide, we are still on way forward. We have entrepreneurship and small business support, skill development and training. This is a sector where very viable on paper by the state, but we have mostly people in the private sector and non-governmental organizations and associations that are really hammering the nail on this whole point of skill development. Like I heard one of my sisters from Yaoundé, the first speaker, she talked about many minds. The other speaker, they've shared a lot. This is to show that most of these initiatives are carried by private bodies and individual organizations. And we thank the government, of course, because they have created these policies and these platforms. However, it's grossly insufficient. We also have job creation in key sector where there's investment in infrastructural development, road, energy, digital infrastructure, which promotes investment in sectors with job creation potentials. You have tourism, and it's unfortunate that the tourism sector in Cameroon is not as developed as we would have loved it to be, but there is hope and there's improvement. It's better than it was before. And there's the agribusiness. Lots and lots of youths who are educated in different fields are now diverted to be trained on hands-on agricultural practices, and they're engaged in agribusinesses. So this is one of the way forward strategies, which is very, very practical. And the next one is social protection and labor rights. This aims to strengthen labor inspection and enforcement mechanisms, expand social protection programs to cover informal workers. The next, climate change and environmental sustainability. This promotes green jobs and sustainable practices in sectors like agriculture, forestry, supports climate resilient infrastructural development, and much, much, much more. Next slide, please. Now let's look at some initiatives and opportunities. We have the African Union's Agenda for 2063, the Africa We Want, which Cameroon is very much engaged in. We have Cameroon's National Development Strategy, NDS 2020-2030. We have the World Bank's Cameroon Economic Update 2020. We have the International Labour Organization and its projects in Cameroon. These are some initiatives which are worthwhile. Now, I want to proceed by sharing a personal experience as a linguist, a linguistic consultant and psychologist or certified mental health therapist. I've found myself in a situation where I have to blend mental health and cultural services. Because when we talk about mental health or psychology, we're looking at human behavior, how we think, how we act, how we behave. And sometimes our environment, our cultural realities inhibit our actions, our behaviors, and our ability to even be productive and cope with normal life stressors. So in the light of decent work, in Cameroon in particular, based on my experiences, I started working as a linguist in 2008, 2009. And the focus was on Bible translation, cultural documentation, and valorization. And in the midst of all these works in different rural communities in Cameroon and extending to about other 13 African countries, I came to realize that we have pathologies, psychopathologies, or mental health challenges that are predominant. However, they are swept under the carpet of culture because they don't understand that somebody can actually suffer from a traumatic event and the ability to cope is minimal. Thus, you withdraw from normal life activities that you found pleasure in before. And when such things happen, they start associating it to witchcraft, to an auntie or an uncle somewhere who is doing something to you. And this inhibits your ability to work, to have decent work. Even when you have a job, there's that stigma that accompanies you. So I had to come up with a safe space that can capture the cultural realities of each community, especially in rural Cameroon, where culture is still practiced to its core, and translate those mental health pathologies or those psychopathologies I observe to the realities of the people, that is culture-specific mental health concepts. We have these universal norms, we have all these theories, this schema, these therapeutic approaches, CBT, schema, EMDR, cognitive behavioral therapy and all of that. However, how does the typical African understand this in the face of his cultural reality? And how can we merge this to see that when somebody who was once bubbly, lively, interactive, performant, productive, enjoying life shrinks or starts dwindling in his ability to do all these things and is unable to produce or perform or to work in a decent environment, what do we do? Instead of associating it with witchcraft or sorcery or sweeping it under the carpet of culture, we can look at it from a developmental perspective or social perspective or mental perspective, translate what we have interpreted through evaluation, psychic evaluation, and interpret them in a language that they'll understand better and in a way that suits their cultural reality. That way, it will not sound as a foreign concept, but something that they can identify with. And where we keep changing the narratives bit by bit, taking into consideration the culture of the people we are with and their realities and how it affects their capacity to work in a decent space, to speak up, to have the job security, to have the freedom to choose where to work with, then can we talk of a more sustainable, decent work opportunity. And on that note, I want to thank you all for choosing to have me on board and to say that I am part of Association for the Promotion of Decent Work Cameroon, which is an organization that was founded by Dr. Fortabe. It's in about 4 African countries now. And we have a Njangi group where every week members contribute and donate to one person to see that you are economically empowered to start a project or a business that can sustain you. This goes through every week, and it's a way for us to see that we create that safe and enabling environment for decent work. We also offer mentorship, training, and we also offer one-on-one coaching to individuals. On a personal note, I'm the therapist for the firm, and I do freelance counseling to anybody at any time, and I am here for you. I can't wait to get to know each and every one of you and to be of value, as I hope that you will be of value to me as well. So thank you again so very much for having me, and I hope we can have these conversations more often because we need it. The Africa we want is in the hands of us. So thank you again, and God bless you all.
You're more than welcome, Dr. Juliet, and thank you so much for sharing such an amazing information with us and for your time. Thank you so much. And thank you to all our incredible speakers for sharing their powerful insights. And thank you to all participants for being such an engaging and inspiring audience. I think today we don't have any question. I think you all understood the speakers very well, and that's good. So, today's sessions remind us that women are not just dreamers, they are leaders, innovators, and change makers, driving sustainable development around the world. Thank you once again for your time, your presence, and your energy. Wishing you all the very best in your projects, your dreams, and your journey ahead. Stay strong, keep believing in yourself, and continue to shine. Okay, so we have a question. Okay. Number 5, how best can we help at grassroots in terms of menstrual hygiene and reusable sanitary pads with this shortage of water in Africa? So, speaker number 5,
Yes,
can you please?
that's me. Thank you.
Sure.
Thank you. I do understand the fact that we have a shortage of water in Africa, but we can do the best that we can so that we avail the little bit of water that is there to make sure that we do re-washing of the pads after usage, because already with the situation that we have regarding climate change, it is also becoming a health hazard to dispose of the sanitary pads. So we'd rather try and make use of the little water that we have to just make sure that it's also cost effective. when we don't have to then buy pads every other month, or when we instead we reuse what we have by making sure that we keep them as clean as possible. And remember, these reusable pads are not used daily. It's only a certain part of the month that you need to then use the pads.
Okay, thank you so much for your answer. And thanks once again to everyone. This session is almost done. So thanks for your time. Take care. Good night. Bye bye.
Thank you so much, everyone. And I would like to say thank you to our speakers for sharing their inspiring journey and sharing their insights with us today during this panel discussion. So thank you so much, everyone, on behalf of Women Ascension, on behalf of Ms. Tahmina, Dr. Mahin, and every person of the Women Ascension. I hope that you all had a great time with us today, and we will surely have you all again in any other session. So thank you so much. And a very thanks to our audience for joining us and engaging so meaningfully throughout the session. And due to the shortage of time, we were not able to take your questions, but we really appreciate that you are with us today and you were part of this session, which the only purpose is to share the knowledge with you all so that you can convey that to other people in your community and do some work. So thank you so much. We are so happy for your presence, and I hope that you all had a great time, and we will surely have more sessions like this one where you will learn a lot. So thank you. Have a good time. Have a good night, and I wish all the best to you all. We will see you all in our upcoming session soon. So thank you so much.